Greetings, travelers. Easily the most asked question I've seen asked is, who should I be using my guaranteed 5-star selector on for the standard banner in Wuthering Waves? I'll be breaking down all the characters and discussing their strengths and weaknesses. I'll be streaming the game all day on May 22nd over on my Twitch, so please stop by and drop me a like, I'd sincerely appreciate it. I'm also going to be doing giveaways over on my Discord pre- and post-launch. Alright, so in case you are not aware, Kuro recently announced that players will be able to select a specific standard 5-star resonator through the Beginner's Convene banner after pulling 80 times. Once you pick your preferred 5-star character, the banner will close. Alright, so for the uninitiated, the standard 5-star resonators to pick from are the following. Jianxin, whose element is arrow, and will be using the gauntlet as a weapon. Lingyang, whose element is glacial, who will also be using the gauntlet as a weapon. Encore, whose element is fusion, will be using the rectifier as a weapon. Calcharo, whose element is electro, who will be using the broadblade. And Verina, whose element is spectro, will be using the rectifier. While you're pulling on the beginner banner, keep in mind the type of weapon your character uses, as it'll be crucial to target the specific weapon type down the line when focusing on weapon banners and in-game rewards. And as always guys, all of this information is based on the closed beta test and is subject to change on release. For all teams, especially early on as you are learning the game, I highly recommend one of your slots contain a healer. This will give you wiggle room for making mistakes while fighting. Baizi will be your standard go-to 4-star healer, until you've unlocked Verina, which will immediately replace her, as she is just a better Baizi. Alright, so before we get into it, ultimately you should be pulling for the character you want, not the character you think is the most meta or think will do well endgame. Whoever looks the best to you and has the best playstyle that fits to you is who you should be choosing. Calcharo is an electro-type main DPS who focuses on basic and heavy attacks weaved together with his E, which should be activated after every basic attack. Calcharo uses a broadblade for his weapon. An amazing starting team for Calcharo will take advantage of 4-star Mortefi, whose outro skill increases heavy attack damage, while Yinlin will replace Mortefi when released, as her outro skill will provide an electro damage bonus. Calcharo's gameplay is an all-out, no-holds-barred flurry of attacks, giving the enemy virtually no time to react. If you're looking for a character that has virtually zero downtime and is just constantly attacking, Calcharo is a clear and obvious pick for you, especially if you like long, white-haired men with absurdly large swords like Sephiroth. He's for you as well. Calcharo is personally my pick for the 5-star selector, especially if you're going to want to run Yinlin down the line.
It's okay! Encore's not afraid!
Encore is a fusion-type DPS who focuses on her skills and ultimate to empower her attacks. Encore uses a rectifier for her weapon. As there are currently no fusion outro skills in the game, a safe choice to combine Encore with is Rover, as the Rover's outro skill leaves behind a stagnant field, reducing enemies' movement and reaction speed for 3 seconds, which lets Encore dish her massive damage. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to want to pick Encore just because of her design, as her 2 puppets are absolutely adorable. Surprisingly enough, Encore is going to have some pretty decent defense stats, despite her small stature. You would think she would be an absolute glass cannon, but that's absolutely not the case. She'll be able to hold her own in battle pretty well. If you're looking for a more slow and methodical game style, where you have to plan your attacks in advance and think about what you need to do ahead of time, Encore is going to be for you. Although, let's be real, at the end of the day, you're just choosing her for the woolies. And I get it. I truly do.
The show is just beginning.
Lingyang is a Glacial main DPS who uses a gauntlet for his weapon. Sanhua's outro ability is the perfect match for this brawler, as it increases Glacio damage by 30%, making her a no-brainer to combine with him on the team. Lingyang reminds me a lot of Calcharo when looking at his combo abilities, where you're just basically button mashing, but with gauntlets. Personally, his design has kind of grown on me over the past few days. I originally didn't like him, as he's basically just a furry, but I like a lot of what he represents. Dragon dancing is a very incredibly important part of Chinese culture, which he embraces pretty much for his entire lifestyle. A lot of his attacks, and even his ult, utilize the giant dragon head that he pulls out, and it's actually pretty freaking cute. Ultimately though, I have a strange and strong feeling that the furries are gonna kinda ruin his character. I think he's on the weaker end of the 5 stars, so I would put him sort of in the mid-tier.
Here you are, looking like a decent challenge.
Jianxin is an arrow-type support/sub DPS who uses a gauntlet as her weapon. You'll want to focus on a main DPS which is able to deal high amounts of damage with their Resonance Liberation. For this, Jixi is an amazing choice, as her ultimate deals a massive amount of damage in an AoE. The only reason I feel a lot of people are even going to select her is just due to her design and not necessarily her kit. I feel her kit is lacking in a lot of places, and she just doesn't deal the same amount of damage that the other characters do. This may change with her resonance chain, as you get more and more duplicate copies of her, but there's not a lot of testing surrounding this yet, and if you want my honest opinion, I don't think it's going to change much. She's just too clunky at the end of the day, and she gets interrupted by basically everything. If you do end up choosing her, I have a feeling you're going to be using your main and sub DPS, whichever you choose, a lot more than her, which to me kind of defeats the purpose of a 5-star selector. Isn't that, you know, someone you want to use on your team a lot, not necessarily a background character? But, you know, at the end of the day, if you pick her for her design, so be it. Nothing wrong with that. Verina is a spectro healer who uses a rectifier as her weapon. As she already fills the role of healer in this team, we will need to pick a DPS and a sub DPS. Personally, I would run Jianxin as my main DPS, as preliminary numbers are showing massive amounts of damage. I feel she may be nerfed on release though, so do your research beforehand when the game launches. Taoqi should fill the sub DPS role, as she will be able to take advantage of Jianxin's outro skill, which increases all havoc damage done. Personally, I think everyone is sleeping on Taoqi's damage output, and I have a feeling she's going to surprise a lot of people on launch. To cut to the chase, Verina is going to be one of the more important 5 stars to pick, if assuming you don't pull her from the standard banner, obviously. Ultimately, when it comes down to giving you a clear answer on who you should pick for your 5-star guarantee, there's a few correct answers. First and foremost, pick the character you think you'll be able to enjoy the most. I recently posted a video on my channel showcasing all of their abilities and attacks. Choose the playstyle you think you'll resonate with the most and that you'll enjoy playing. The game has a complete emphasis on skill over character, so at the end of the day, there really is no wrong choice. Now getting into the more try-hard answers that I've given the casuals their answer. The most clear choice is Verina. Verina's output on healing and outro skill, which is 30 seconds of healing and a 15% flat increase in damage, is absolutely busted. Verina will be a staple of any team that wants healing for a long time, and I do not see her getting power crept anytime soon. The second choice is a tie between Calcharo and Encore. I'll personally be going Calcharo, as I absolutely cannot wait for Mommy Yin Lin to come home to synergize with him on the perfect team. Encore is also a great pick, but until we get some synergy with other fusion characters on future banners, I sincerely fear for her relevance in 2 to 3 months. Lingyang is an okay choice if you like his kit and personality. With the release of the most recent Resonator trailer for him, they completely changed his voice to that of a more mature one, a complete 180 from his 6-year-old voice prior. Now for Jianxin, don't pick her unless you really like her design. Her attacks are slow and clunky, she's interrupted easily, and overall she just doesn't feel good to play. I'm absolutely certain she will be power crept very quickly, especially with Jian right around the corner, who will completely take her place in any comp. Who are you guys most excited for? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, please drop me a like and subscribe. It sincerely means the world to me. Be sure to come check me out on my Twitch at twitch.tv/lolshinya on May 22nd for Wuthering Waves content. I'll be streaming literally all day. I kinda wanna do 24 hours, but we'll see how that goes. Alright, see ya.